Oh.
Yeah, fucking clean feed for you.
Oh, TechMed Rainer becoming a
who?
becoming a member. We're live.
A moomber.
A moomber.
Moomber.
Sup, y'all? TechMed. Thanks for the support, brother. Appreciate
What
that.
up? So while we're doing this stream, I should disclose I'm going to be multitasking.
Oh, what are you? Okay, I thought you were going to disclose where you're going after this stream.
What?
I thought you were going to disclose what you were going to after the stream.
Oh, I have some people over.
Yeah? All right.
People.
No, you don't have to, by the way.
No, I got a date. I got a hot date. So I'm going to be cutting up some appies while we're doing this. Because
cutting up some what?
Some appies. You know, appetizers. That's what the cool kids say, right?
Cutting up some appies. Is that what they say?
Well, they don't say, if you're going to a restaurant, you'd be like, oh, let's get some appies. You know? So I just say cutting up some.
Shrimp changed his name again. It's just Shrimp. Bree. Hey, man.
That's all good. I dig some shrimp.
Bangs, I think, is in on this as well. Oh, wow. We got people piling in. So, Dylan has no idea what we're talking about today, as is the huge.
Is YouTube dying? My NT1 died.
My NT1 died. Okay, so I did buy it from the discounted bin of Amazon.
I mean, that shouldn't really be a factor, but it still makes me laugh.
TechMed says, hey, guys, I love your live streams. Thanks, man. I appreciate having you.
We enjoy them, too.
Richard says, hey, Beresford, good evening. And
what is up? I think we're getting, this might be the most highs we've ever gotten at the beginning of a stream.
Yeah, well, hey, love it, guys. Love it.
Keep it coming, keep it coming.
I should also point out F in chat. What's the F for, Beresford? Come on.
Fuck, obviously.
Or
UCK.
Or something else. I'm wondering. By the way, so I am also talking into the AKG P820. The review is on the way. However, I can say this. As soon as I plugged the mic in and started using it, I called them and said, so how much would it cost for me to just buy this outright? Because they lent it to me. I love the sound of this microphone. I absolutely love.
You're living for it.
It's so good. It's
a tube, man. I've always had at least one tube mic. Briefly last year I had two, but I gave the other one away. A tube condenser was my first ever condenser mic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was the ART M4 back in the day. It cost me like $500. And yeah, I mean, I use that thing for everything. But it was annoying because so if you had to guess, I mean, you've obviously mucked around with that mic, how heavy would you say it is?
It's heavy as snot.
Yeah. What's the outer casing made of? Is it just metal?
Yeah.
Okay. The first one I had, the ART M4, the outer casing was actually ceramic.
This might be, I don't know. I do know that it's heavy as snot. I've used a tube condenser before. The problem is over the past 2 years, my ears have greatly improved. So you can
now pick up the differences and stuff.
Yeah, and it's not just the differences. It's also like, you know, when somebody describes, oh, that's a silky smooth microphone, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it sounds nice. This one, as soon as I plugged it in, I'm like, holy shit, I've never talked into a microphone like this. I might have the tube mic I used before. I can't even remember what it was. Might have been 10 times better than this. And my ears wouldn't have been able to pick it up. Now I'm like, oh yeah, that's the microphone for me. Bangs, that is unless you bought it from Amazon. Yeah, I know. What's up, gents? Gear Junkie. Beresford, press F to pay respects. I guess that's it. Bangs, Dylan, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I am isn't it anymore, and what it seems weird and scary, it'll happen to you.
Yeah, it is purely subjective. I think that's what we've all come to understand in the last many years. In fact, it is just something that is configured by the simulation. So
okay, so my NT1 died.
I went there.
Yeah, so my NT1 died. I was doing the review on the Rode headphones, the Rode NTH100, and I wanted to do like a full Rode kit up for it. So I was using the NT1, got the Rode boom arm, the Rode headphones. And then halfway through, my microphone just stopped working. So I actually messaged Rode and said, "Hey guys, any chance you guys want to do something about this?" And they haven't gotten back to me. We'll see. I'm gonna actually message Amazon if I don't hear back from Rode. But I'm a little irritated. That thing's like a month and a half old.
I was gonna say, like, you got that pretty recently. So.
Yeah. The problem, once again, it was the discount bin at Amazon. You know when you're like other options, buy other options, and they have the.
Oh, I never do that. Only because like I'm like, you know what? If I skimp out on this,
here's
it's gonna
the
bite
thing.
me in the ass.
I got it for a relatively decent price. Like I think it was $100 off, but it was brand new, refurbished, I believe. For it to die the way it did, it just went to white noise, like literally white noise, nothing else.
That's odd.
Yeah. I've never actually had a microphone just go to white noise. I used I tried the cable on another mic. It works fine. I finished the video with the NT2A, which, I mean, I should have just plugged in anyways. I'm not exactly sure. I was hearing a bit of a buzz, and also it sounded like it was being overdriven at one point. So I think a cap blew on it. I haven't opened it.
Or it could be if there's transistor issues that can cause that as well.
Here, I've actually got it in front of me. I'll take it apart while we talk. Did I register it? Rode has registered Amazon products for me before through their site. I didn't. However, I do have a working relationship with Rode, so it's not as bad.
Yeah, I was going to say it shouldn't be like they should be, especially knowing that you're a media publication.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Like I try not to use that stuff because I don't. Like, you don't want to overuse that, right? You don't want to become that guy that...
You don't want to pull that card every single time.
No,
yeah.
And because I didn't buy it through them, but I know they got the kickback for it. Like, when you buy a Rode product, even in the used bin, Rode still makes money.
Of course.
And I would say the caps look tight, but there's one that has a bit of a...
Bulge?
No, it's not... Well, no, I'd say these are all tight. No issues there.
Just because, like, it's... Not all capacitors that fail,
Blow
like the
up,
electrolyte turns into gas. Some of them, the only real way to tell is to unsolder them all, do a capacitance check on them because you can't check them in circuit.
I know, yeah,
which is very annoying.
And I'm not going to do that.
Especially with a board. I remember once a board that I used to have, I had to recap it because all the channels, one channel started making like obnoxious distorted noises at any gain, and then they all one at a time, and then. It was 1,000 caps, roughly.
Well, my first NT2A actually lost power on its cardioid setting. So on its cardioid setting, it just started dimming, like the audio output started dimming one day. Oh. And then it was like I was gaining up like 3/4 of the way and I could barely get a whisper out of it. I took it back and they replaced it, no problem. But I'm wondering if this is kind of the same deal.
That is peculiar. Bro,
yeah, it really was.
On? Care to chime in?
Anyways, so I'm gonna put the cover back on this so I don't touch that capsule. Don't want to give them a reason to say nope, you screwed up.
Yeah. That's kind of what I had with Shure. Although it was, I don't blame them really for it, but like, so when my SRH 940s died, for those that weren't maybe on that stream. Shure headphones are amazing. The one thing to keep in mind is the weak point is the extension bands.
Yeah.
These little pieces of plastic. Those, if you drop them on the ground and they land in the wrong way, which is probably like 80% of the time that they're going to land on the ground, they're going to land in the wrong way. Those things will snap and you're done.
These are my SRH 840s now. Mm-hmm. I'm replacing my main drivers with the Rhodes.
Yeah.
The NTH100 are quite nice. They have.
I still haven't. I got to watch your video on that. I haven't.
Oh, it's going to come out on Monday, so no worries.
Oh, perfect. I thought that was one for this past Monday.
The cups on them are fantastic. They're memory foam. They're a little bit more exhausting to wear, because the clamping pressure is a little harder because it is memory foam.
Yeah.
However, once they warm up, as all headphones do.
Yeah, once that pressure weakens a little bit.
Yeah, it starts to. No, but even like in a long sitting, like during the morning show at about 7 a.m., I'll notice they start to become more comfortable because the memory foam warms up and it kind of sculpts to your head.
Okay, I got to jump off for 2 seconds.
No worries. So today, We had that, the NT1 dying, but also the conversation about tech YouTube. I wonder how many people are actually in here right now. We got 9. All right, we'll stop talking headphones. Headphones kills channels, apparently. So tech YouTube. The question is tech YouTube dying? What are those headphones called again? The ones I'm using right now are Shure SRH 840s. And the ones that I review that I replace these with are the Rode NTH100. Dylan, oh yeah, Dylan does need to get the Zip Fizz. Zip Fizz has arrived at Dylan's house. I forgot about that. Oh my God. We're going to have to do Zip Fizz for Dylan. He's back. He's back. He's back. Okay, Dylan. Can you hear me?
Yep.
You can hear me now. Zip Fizz is there, right?
Correct. Not today. That is a next week thing.
Okay. We'll set it up for next.
Hard no.
We'll set it up for next week. Okay.
And anyone that's here, feel free to hold me to that. Because I'm a man of my word. I said next week. Next week's gonna happen.
If I say you've got a beautiful
it's been what, like a fucking year? What's one more week?
It hasn't been a full year, but it's been a while. It has definitely been a while.
Man, I have to say, speaking of that, just slight tangent. I don't really care for UPS. Because normally they're shitheads. But I have to say, UPS was very anal at making sure that package got to where it neaded to get to.
I noticed.
They tried to deliver 5 times. And most couriers, after they tried to deliver once, they're like, no, come and get it. But no, was getting, because the driver kept stopping at the wrong building. He was like, you're not in the directory. I'm like, yeah, because you're at the wrong place, you idiot. But 5 times. And finally they did. In fact, I was like, wow, I was impressed, I have to say.
All right, so catching up really quick, I was talking about the NTH100s, the Rode. Bangs wants to know, are the cables replaceable? Yes, they're switchable ear to ear. They're proprietary, though, meaning you have to get your cable through Rode. And one of the big drawbacks to those headphones are the cable. The cable's disgustingly bad. Everything else about them is fantastic. If Rode doesn't release a coiled cable, I'm probably going to give up on them. Headphone videos are hard to do because you can't hear how well they sound until they're on the head. It's true, Rob. Headphone videos are hard to convey that. However, the one thing I do have to say about doing the headphone videos is that if you're comparing a $150 pair of headphones to another $150 pair of headphones, you're not going to get much differential between the two of them. Now, from a comfort perspective, yes, that's something you got to go try it on. Everything in that price range, if you stick to that $150 price point, you're pretty much going to get similar results with different comfort levels, different builds, different. I don't think anything's going to be above and beyond, and anything's going to be way below. They're all going to be within a relative quality level and sound quality. Now, if you want to start taking if it's not closed back, or if you want to get into stuff that's a little higher priced, then you're going to find the sound quality does go up. I couldn't hear any discernible difference between my SRH 840s and the Rode NTH 100s.
I think it also goes without saying as well.
I can't hear you, Dylan.
Hello?
You're not coming through whatsoever for me.
Hello?
Let's see if you're on clean feed, big fella. Oh, you
Should be. Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, guys in chat, can you hear Dylan?
Hang on. I'm here. My level's going up, so.
Oh, wait. There we go. Sorry about that.
It's all good. I was going to say my level's moving, so it's not me.
Never mind. I'm not even going to talk about what just happened. So what were you saying about the headphones, Dylan?
I was just saying, I think it's also, this kind of goes without saying, I feel like in most consumer situations, but like with any technical product, there is also a point of diminishing returns. I'd say the highest that you will get, a decent value proposition from headphones is $400.
Yeah.
I think if you go any higher than that, you get like maybe a 10% increase for double the price, right?
Yep.
Like a great example of that is the open back headphones are a little weird because they're expensive because they're not needed as much. There's less of a demand for them. So like, for example, the SRH 1540s are like $650, right? Which is like, what the fuck? But at the same time, the reason for that is because nobody needs them. Like, those are for very specific DJ or mixing engineer applications. Whereas the closed back are generally cheaper because there's more competition, yada, yada.
Yeah, but the problem with closed back is frequency specific stuff is not anywhere
There's
near.
a lot of standing waves, compression issues behind the
and that's the one complaint a lot of people had about the Rode NTH100 was, for frequency specific stuff is, of course not. Like the SRH 840s aren't great for frequency specific. And I didn't feel like there was that much of a discernible difference between the two of them to go, oh man, this is so much better than this.
And it's good to specify where you have issues with those frequencies. Like pretty much any conversation about sound pressure, the issue is never high-end stuff.
Yeah.
The issue is low-end stuff. What you notice with the 1440s or the 1840s is that the low end is very clear. So if you're mixing and you're mixing low end stuff, and the hardest part of any mix is the low end, always 100% of the time. So yeah, that's why they're good for mixing. And that's why speakers are ported, because you want that low end information to be somewhat accurate for monitors.
Yeah,
I tried mixing on bookshelf speakers once. It was a bad time.
Everyone says, TechMed says, Dylan, you're out of sync. Dylan's always out of sync. He's never quite just right. You know?
It was different when I was running my SM7 through Pro Tools for the processing, because I could actually add in a delay. But now that I'm going through a physical processor, I can't really add a delay.
And that's fine.
If we were doing audio through Discord, which we're not, but if we were, the problem is we're using two different platforms for the video and audio. So the odds that they're going to be perfectly synced is pretty much.
I would rather have better audio than have perfectly synced video,
100%.
as far as I'm concerned.
Plus, it's a live stream. It's supposed to be quirky. Come on.
Rob asks, anyone here heard of or used Sonobus? It's a pretty cool bit of software for podcasters and musicians to share audio with one another in a shared network space. I've never heard of that. Cool. So Dylan has to leave at a very specific time. So let's just jump into what this podcast is about. Is tech YouTube dying, Dylan? This has actually been a lot of red flags being thrown up by a lot of people in the tech sphere and YouTube. Podcastage posted about it, I think it was about a week and a half ago, saying that numbers are dropping across the board. Numbers are like just going down. And you can see it all the way up to guys that have 2 million subs, where there seems to be, it looks like the kind of the way the recommendation system on YouTube is kind of stepping away from tech right now. And I'm curious, so for somebody that doesn't follow the algorithm, what do you think about seeing things like that?
It's funny you mention that, because I was thinking about this earlier this week, how I haven't seen a tech video in my recommendeds in a while. And considering I watch a lot of STEM related videos on YouTube, and the algorithm should have flagged me as, someone that might appeal to. I've been seeing, I haven't seen a Linus video show up in my feed in a while, and I'm a sub and I have notifications turned on. Like, I've got all the signs that should tell YouTube, hey, start pushing this to this guy, or continue pushing this to this guy. But I don't know. Google's obviously making tweaks to the algorithm.
Tech is great on Rumble. And that's the thing. Like, I'm not complaining per se. There's ebbs and flows that I've noticed quite distinctly around this time of year. Last year was the exact same thing. Kind of, we're in the middle of an ebb. But I don't, I look around and you can see a lot of other YouTubers are definitely in one long ass ebb. And you're right. Like, even Peter McKinnon, who isn't necessarily tech, he's more of a video producer.
Well, I would say, cameras and stuff are tech.
He's on the tech spectrum. However, I don't get any of his videos in my feed unless I directly go and watch one of his videos, and then they start to show up a bit and then they disappear. So instead of it being like, I don't have that long of a subscription list. Like, I maybe have 130 subscriptions to people on YouTube. And I know there's people.
That's a good
tons
question.
more.
I'm kind of curious now how many how many places I subscribe to.
Well, here, Bang says the question is when an accident or push down the stairs. Political season is starting up in the U.S. Everything will go to crap. Yeah. Whatever. Maybe that'll push people back to tech. Who knows?
Political season.
But it's fascinating because like I have a wide gambit of what I watch on YouTube. I have my favorite gaming podcast or gaming channel. Dude that streams State of Decay 2. I've got a couple guys that stream State of Decay 2 that I like. Arvid is one who's actually he's subbed to this channel. I actually found him on Discord one day. I'm like, dude, I love your channel. We bonded. And then Brian Menard. So I watched that guy quite a bit. And he comes up. But he never goes away. But then I look to tech, and Paul's Hardware is one that I watch. I watch Bitwit. I watch Linus. And none of them are coming up. None of them.
I think Linus is a good benchmark for engagement and for there's something going on with their reach algorithm. Obviously, there's something going on with their impressions system.
TechMed says recently I got a lot of recommendations for Linus, and yeah, Linus isn't showing a dip in the growth right now. Linus that's
what I was going to say. Is Linus being one of the top tech channels in the platform is a good benchmark for
like if you look up a cell phone video, you're getting a Marquez Brownlee video. If you look up computer tech, you're getting a Linus video somewhere in your feed.
If you look up audio, the first person's going to come up is Dark Corner Studios. Obviously.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. No, I like podcastage still shows up in my feed. But I'm also obviously watching microphone videos all the time.
You are?
But there are other ends of tech that are kind of slowly going down. But then I see some of the smaller tech YouTubers aren't showing any sign of slowing down. So I am kind of curious. What you all have been seeing. I've noticed that there has been a bit of an ebb here, but nothing too concerning. This isn't my main source of income, so it's not like I freak out when I see the subs start to go down. Or it's not even the subs, it's a lot of view time. So, we killed it with that video of the cover,
Yeah, well, that's right. Like that's the algorithm likes consistency, and when you deviate, unless it like really takes off in the first 24 hours, you're gonna spend some time in a recovery period.
Right. Late again, Darren. Damn it, Darren. Midnight Wolf. How's it going?
I love how long it takes to get the algorithm to like you, and then how little time it takes to get the algorithm to hate you. like it's like you can spend a year, literally years, like a decade publishing videos every week, and slowly it'll go up, and then one video about thumbnails, and it will just tank.
Well, I've learned to stay within my niche.
Yeah, you stay in the pocket.
Like with the music, and I've noticed this is going just a bit outside the niche, and I do plan on doing some stuff for voiceover. Very excited to do some stuff, but I don't like, and that's the problem. Microphones aren't just used for voiceover; they're used for music. They're used for.
Are they?
Yeah, like
I didn't know.
If I did a Foley video, that wouldn't be outside the realm of what this channel is. However, the people watching it might not want to see me record Foley.
And it's also hard because we have to remember, like, we know what the channel is because we have abstract thinking capabilities. The algorithm might not necessarily know what the channel is. The algorithm's going by, keywords and how much, what kind of.
Well, it's AI.
Yeah, so we see stuff as compatible. I don't know that the YouTube algorithm thinks in terms of compatible subject matter. I think it's direct correlatives, or it's not.
Yeah, no,
that's my guess.
I think we're on an ebb. I think tech YouTube is just slowly pulling back, and it's going to come back. Bangs, I think, was it Bangs? Yeah, it's getting warm. Views on all podcasts and videos will lose views back in September. It's very consistent. My God, over Christmas, my channel doubles.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it's the purchasing season, right?
Yeah.
Like
I could shit on video and it'll still get views. It's literally like, and you see a lot of YouTubers doing the like 30 days of Christmas or the 25 days of Christmas where they'll release a video every day in December or every video up to Christmas. And the reason they're doing that is because people watch videos tenfold in December. Like the channel just goes skyrockets. All tech does, because people are like dreaming about what's coming under the tree, or it's the time of spending, all that stuff. So like, I'm not concerned if December completely flops. Maybe I'll be a little bit more concerned, and maybe then you're like selling off a few extra microphones. TechMed, thanks, man. Rob says Foley would be a fascinating niche to explore. I agree. Like showing how to record Foley, like how to do certain things. And then
Foley is a lot of fun. Honestly, in my current full-time role, as a radio producer, like, I don't know, I want to say like 30 to 40% of what I do is Foley. Yeah. Because like, honestly, there's a lot of times when making the sound effects yourself is a lot quicker than going and trying to find them.
Yeah.
Well, and especially finding ones that you can actually legally use.
And with
because now a lot of companies are actually starting to fingerprint sound effects, which was never a thing before. Like sound effects in production used to be the Wild West. Like find something on YouTube, whatever. But now, technology.
It's scary. The nice thing about doing Foley on your channel would be you'd get your own Foley library within like a couple months. You'd have an impressive Foley library that you could sell. Like that would, and that's actually not a bad idea. Huh. I'll think about that.
Yeah, let's do that. We should do that.
Yeah, we should totally do that.
I think we just came up with a business venture.
Sell the Foley, man. You know how many radio stations would buy that? Production houses would pay for access if you can get specific Foley. By the way, if anyone doesn't know what Foley is, I guess I should point out, that's the sound effects that are used for movement. Generally, like sound effects that are used on audio. So if you hear somebody walking across the road in a movie, sound effects are added to emphasize the footsteps.
Generally in film, and I've worked on a film set, so I can say this, the dialogue is generally captured on set. That's about it. Yeah. And even that, there's a lot of ADR that happens. Automated dialogue replacement, which sometimes, if they have the right technology, can be easy. Sometimes it's not so easy. But it's, everything. Like footsteps, any opening doors, and even ambience. Although there's a caveat to that. Usually on a film set, when you're shooting a certain scene, you will go there like a half hour beforehand, and you will capture 30 minutes worth of room tone. And then, but room tone and ambience are different. Room tone you'll capture in advance. Ambience, that's added in, superficially after. It's film production is very interesting. I really enjoy doing audio for video.
If you're curious about its sound speeds, has a channel that's dedicated to, well,
aptly named.
That's what he does. He does film audio. Beresford, I'm not subbed to Linus, but he shows up on my homepage. Gamers Nexus sometimes. Gamers Nexus has never like just randomly showed up on my homepage. I usually find out about a video he did and I go look for him. He is very niche. Like he is taking apart and fixing graphics cards niche. Also, tech is inventory supply chain constrained, so why pay the shills when there's no product to shift? I don't necessarily think this channel's all product driven. However, my YouTube searches. So this channel is heavy on YouTube search, as any product channel would be, and my YouTube search is the one that ebbs and flows. The people that show up for the live stream, like you guys, you don't ebb and flow. You guys come watch videos. The odd time you'll lose somebody and then they'll come back, or that's fine. All those ebbs and flows are fine. But the YouTube search is the one that if you are a product video or a product channel, like a tech channel, and you're not getting the YouTube searches, like what happened with the graphics card fiasco, where nobody could buy graphics cards, nobody wanted to watch graphics card videos. And it absolutely trounced the computer end of YouTube.
So even like, that's kind of, and you and I talked about it off stream, but it's kind of one of the issues that we hit with the Hurt video is, I mean, not only was the algorithm having a hard time figuring out who to recommend this to, because it's in a weird, it doesn't fit nicely in a box.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, there's nothing searchable about it. And people say, well, the 58 search. It's like, yeah, but that's an oversaturated search. If you type in SM58.
Hurt's oversaturated too.
Both things are. Both those major keywords are. So That's the issue that we're having.
It's a matter of, like you said, like when I released my first video reviewing an SM58, YouTube was like, fuck you.
Yeah, man.
But then after I've released like 70 videos, then it's like, oh, maybe this SM58. And so that's why my SM58 versus SM7B ended up blowing up. Is because I had enough consistency where YouTube was like, oh, okay, I've got another song coming, and I'm hoping to, between Dylan and I and me doing some on my own, I'm hoping to have one out every couple months. That's
every quarter. It's kind of what we had talked about.
The big ones would be every quarter, like that, but like with the next one, the box, I'm probably.
It's like
nobody
original.
knows.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's an original, so I don't think
it's an original, but it's already made me a ton of coin. Like I've made
it's a good song. I mean, you played it way like years ago, and we listened to it. It's good. It's got likes.
I've licensed it out a couple times. I've made a decent amount of money off of it. It's got licensed to a couple indie films. Nice. And it was just licensed and then returned.
It's all about that sweet publishing.
Oh man, when you license and they return the license to you after a certain period of time, it's so nice. Like the movies actually never got greenlit, so they licensed the song, and the song never got played anywhere. Love it. Beresford has an interesting question. How bad would it be if I started a tutorial channel with no specific genre? One video is about how to plug in a microphone. The next video, how to cook jollof rice. I have no idea what that means. The next, how to harvest honey. If you can, Beresford, if you can actually kind of capture that into its own genre. So, for example, if you were to do a video or a channel of how to adult, right? Like the channel was all these random things, how to change a tire, how to hook up a microphone, how to, and you frame it.
I love how those two things, like.
But that's the thing. But that could be under its own genre of how to, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll find
like how to basic.
Yeah, basically, yes.
No, not like how to basic.
I don't know what how to basic is.
You've never seen how to basic?
No.
Oh,
all right.
He just basically destroys things.
Okay, no, not like that.
But I was really hoping you were gonna know what that was.
If you can niche it that way, like I was considering a channel, something along the lines of, dad advice. Which runs the gamut, right? Like it's kind of well done on YouTube, but not really.
Dad advice.
I'm also bad for dad advice. Like I give a lot of dad advice according to my kids, but that's also like there are people that search how to use a stove on YouTube, right? Like there's people that search that stuff because they never learned how to do it at home.
Yeah, or maybe they sort of figured it out, but they're like, just double checking to make sure they're doing it.
Well,
a great example is like years ago, I looked up, what was it? I think it was like 23, and I looked up like how to properly prepare a chicken breast to cook, because I'm like, that flap, and you're like, what do I do with that? Like little things like that maybe, slid under the radar as a kid, and you're like, oh.
So if you can contain all of those how-tos in kind of a niche of like how to, dad edition or something along those lines, it will be very, very popular. Those channels do very, very well for themselves. Now, if you step a little too far outside of the how-to, like by doing something like, how to split an atom or stuff that people aren't, because you're very YouTube or you're search-based. However, at the same time, if you can show enough personality, you will become much like, what's his name that does Today I Found Out?
Simon Whistler.
Simon Whistler. You will become a Simon Whistler because that's what Simon Whistler does, basically.
To have a successful channel, you need two things. Fundamentally, you need a presence. You need a branded presence.
Yes.
And you need a market position.
Yep.
I.e. niche. Those are the two things. If you nail down those two things, branded presence, market position, you'll be successful and consistent. You got to be consistent.
Bang says, did you see the sound speeds takedown on the cloud lifter video? No, I did not. I'll have to look into that.
Look that up.
Time for an SM7B video. Yeah, so SM7B videos, I don't want to become that person that does, like, finds out that one video performs really well, so I release 7 of them.
Yeah. Because, I think we had talked about one of our covers being with the SM7, not the next one, because we don't want to become a Shure mic channel.
Well, and that's
But,
the thing, right? Like, it's also, I'm not doing advertising for anyone unless they pay me. So I'm not going to just run through all the Shure microphones. I'm going to hit up a Behringer. I want to, the next one is going to be a surprise mic. So did I tell everyone what I was using? I don't think I did last week. Anyways, Aiden and Dylan cover WAP.
We are not covering wet ass pussy. That is not happening.
I can actually say this. I think I've nailed down a rapper. So if I need to bring in somebody to do a rap,
we're talking female or male?
Male.
Can they pull a Cardi? Oh, I was gonna say, can they pull a Cardi B?
But wouldn't that be awesome if he did?
That'd be kind of neat.
You know the guy too. You know the guy.
Oh.
Bugs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't actually. I saw you were like, do you know this guy? I'm like, yeah, and then I was like, oh, and I didn't actually see your response. So now I understand why. I thought you were going to tell me that he died.
I also know. Wouldn't that be sad?
Every time in the last 2 years that somebody asks me, "Hey, do you know X person?" and I'm like, "Yeah," they're like, "Oh, they're dead." I'm like, "Okay." So now every time somebody, I'm just okay. They must be dead.
It's been a rough couple of years. I also got
I
also got a Chester Bennington style.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That could be useful.
Also,
I've nailed down a cellist.
Okay. If you could mic up a cello right now, what mic would you reach for first?
414.
Well, we can't do a 414 video.
But you asked me.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
You asked the question.
So 414 is like the switchblade of microphones. It'll cut anything.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, as far as mics in the room at the moment, other than the U87.
Yeah, keep that one on the shelf.
P120. I've never done it, but I would try it.
Interesting.
Yep. Or the Vanguard V13, but again, that's
Darren wants to know my new acoustic bass. What kind?
I'm not surprised. It's right up Darren's alley.
It's a 4-string. No, it's actually
you asshole.
It's a brand called Denver, which I've never heard of.
I have actually. I've seen Denver Acoustics. Yep.
Any good?
I mean, I've played them at the music stores. They seem to play all right. They're obviously on the budget variety.
I sat down and there were a couple brands that I won't bring up. I won't bring up the brands. They had
Which one was it? Was it the Hunt? Was it the Hunt Club one?
Yes,
Canada.
Okay. Hunt Club. So I went in there and they had a couple $900 acoustic basses by very well-known brands. Sat down, played like utter shite. They were garbage. They were just trash.
Was there one? I don't want to trash them. Was there a Takamine one there?
Yes.
I'm guessing it wasn't very good.
Utter trash.
Now, was it the sound or the playability?
Both.
Because the playability on most acoustic basses isn't great because they're not really. They're trying to ram a square peg into a round hole with those instruments.
But like the Denver sounds okay. Like it sounds.
Well, it's a jumbo. Yeah.
Yeah. It sounds okay, but it also doesn't play horribly. I was like, well, why in the hell would I buy a $900 one that sounds like trash? And I'm like, I've never heard of a Denver. It was only $400. So I was like, yeah, I'll take it. Wrap it up. And I'm really looking forward to using that. Really looking forward to using it. All right.
Yeah, well, you should record a clip, just something, I don't know, this weekend. Just I'm anxious to hear it. Like just
Seven Nation Army coming your way, buddy.
Or I don't know, Money by Floyd. Like there's a lot of options.
I started learning Money by Floyd, but I couldn't.
Oh, I know. Play the riff from Roundabout by Yes.
Oh no, I can't slap, man. I've been starting to work on the slap because I've never owned a bass before. I suck at bass. I don't expect my acoustic cover to have really intense bass lines, so we should be okay.
You start with popping. Start with popping, and then go to slap, and then once you've mastered the right hand slap, then start to work on the left hand slap.
Yeah, I know.
That's how they get to the flea shit. It's the flea shit going on.
The popping I'm okay with. The slapping I'm okay with.
Oh yeah,
I can't
popping
combine
is easy.
them.
Slapping is hard because there's a lot of tension that you end up putting on your wrist because your finger cannot rest on the string when you slap it. It has to bounce like perfectly off.
And it's perfectly off. Yeah, and I've got it down. Like I've got the slap down. I'm okay with that because I've been playing guitar so long. I think my hands just kind of have the rhythm. So I'm okay with that. But popping and slapping at the same time and using my fretting hand to it's not working. Anyways, back to the questions. I just want my sparkers to work reliably on my stove. I'll get you a video for that there, Banks. Midnight Wolf, if I'm doing a demonstration, my options are to record over mic, RCA, or headphone jack from the device as a how-to. What would be the best way to record it?
Repeat that. You repeat that.
If I'm doing a demo, okay, you read it.
There's options: record over mic, RCA, or headphone jack from a device as a how-to. What would be the best way to record the video?
Yeah, if you're doing video, if you're doing audio out to your to whatever device you're recording from.
I mean, so when I with my camera, I have an interface that is 4 cameras that I plug into my camera. It gives me options to plug in either MTRS, TRS, TS, or XLR with phantom power, the 9 yards, or the nine, the works. I don't know why I said the 9 yards. And it works phenomenally. It works on my phone, it works on the camera, and it allows me, again, like, so what I sent you for the music video, for example,
yeah,
right, those shots, as you got them with the right side, left side, all of that, I didn't have to bring that into Premiere or anything. That was done on camera, which is super, I like anything that I can do to save myself from having to get footage into an editor, I will do, because there's a lot of inefficiencies with and then exporting it and then doing whatever you need to do. So anything that I can do, especially with like sending footage like what I do with you, if I can figure it, even with my phone, like finding a way to get good audio into the phone so I don't have to import it into Premiere and then send it to my phone to like publish.
The best way that I've done it, the way I've done every video since almost day one, is I use a scratch mic on top of my camera. Mm-hmm. So it's a Rode Video Mic Go.
So you can sync. Yep.
And then I just sync up the audio that goes through my interface.
And that's for the first while, and that works. That works fine. Like I would have Audition running in the background, and then I would just, most of the cut-ins that I've sent you were done that way.
Yep.
Because that's actually kind of the standard way that you do video audio. Even in like a multi-million-dollar film, they have a computer for sound, and then they have a camera. And those 2 things are not connected necessarily, unless you have a jam sync rig, in which case they are connected.
But then you're also looking at larger file size from in the camera. If you have, like me, and you don't have a lot of file size to be able to play with, so I think it's better doing this, just synchronizing the end.
I thought a 64 gig SD card would be, actually it's 128. I thought 128 gig SD card would be enough. And then I started shooting in 4K.
Yeah.
It's 4K GOP format.
One day I'm going to start shooting in 4K when I get a camera that can handle it. One day. Not now. But that'll be my next camera. I've got my eye on a Sony. Going to get rid of Canon. Sean says, Dylan, quote in metric or use Canadian downs with your yards. Right?
What?
All right, Dylan's not a sports fan. He had no idea.
I was going to say that sounds like a measurement reference, but I don't give 2 shits about sports.
The cloud lifter debunking is pretty crazy. You'll definitely get a kick out of it. Damn, now I got to watch that. All right, I'm going to watch that after this. It's 6. Dylan, what time do you have to leave by? Because I also have one more thing. Okay, so really quick.
Okay, go through your one thing.
All right, so I asked a question on YouTube, and I kind of want to get it from everyone that's here. Just how fast do you watch YouTube videos? So when you're watching one of my videos, how fast is it set to? There's no shame. I'm not going to be upset at anyone for watching it at 200%, but I tried watching myself at 200%. It was pretty gross.
The only thing that I've ever sped up, I always keep it at 1. But the only thing that I've ever sped up, and it's not on YouTube, is whenever I'm like watching like a course for work or something.
Yeah. No,
but I just need to get through it and get the content, right?
I kind of understand why you'd speed up a review, but not a mic review, because then you don't really get the sound of the microphone.
Yeah, well,
However, a lot of people speed up the videos 200%. So I'm going to try, this week, I'm going to be putting out a video midweek.
I'll be back. Give me a sec.
The video will be me setting up the next song, what I'm doing, the microphone I'm using, and kind of going through some of the process I'm going through. But I'm going to speed the video up to 175%. So all you have to do is in YouTube, you go and you click on the speed and you bring it down to 25%. You'll be fine. And I'm going to see what people think. I'm going to see, because I'm actually kind of curious of 5%. That would be hilarious. What cloud lifter bunking video are we going to watch? Sound Speeds, Sean. Sound Speeds has a cloud lifter bunking video. So I'm going to put a video out. I'm curious because when you watch it at 1.5 or 1.75, it impacts, which I find absolutely stupid. YouTube considers my retention shorter. So if you watch a video at 200% and you watch 100% of the video, YouTube counts that as 50% retention, which I think is absolutely stupid. So if I put a video out at 200%,
I just started, which I think is absolutely stupid.
No,
I'm like, I gotta get a load of this.
What I'm saying is if you watch a video at 200%, YouTube counts that retention at 50% for me. So if you watch 100% of that video, I get 50% of the retention.
So I'm going to assume, right, that watch time, which is one of the most important metrics on YouTube, is counted in real time, not in sped up time. So in other words, if you have a 14-minute video and somebody watches it 2 times, you get counted 7 minutes of watch time.
Yes, you do. But here's the thing. If you put something, and this is actually a video that's been going around for a couple weeks now, there's a guy that puts out his content at 200 speed, and he tells you at the beginning, slow it down to this, and you get regular time, and he has 400% retention on most of his videos.
No
because
kidding.
of it. So I'm like, okay, so if this is a thing, I want to see if this works, because I do know there are a lot of people, and I know by looking at my retention, because I know the viewers that watch the videos, and I can see the retention sitting at about 55%. I know there's a bunch of people watching at $1.50, $1.75, and that's fine. 110% fine. But I'm kind of curious to see what happens when I put out a video at 175%. I just want to see. You're right. I've changed my mind. I'm going to watch it 75%. That's amazing. I listened to Fast Talkers at 1.5. Bangs. What are you doing, man? Yeah, and Dan brings up a good point. Most of the stuff I watch is for sound quality. I don't speed those up. I can't even imagine. Sean Webb, I don't change the speed I watch in real time. I shuttle through media all day to time and QC shows. Yeah, I can see that.
Because, like, I don't know. For me, it's less about, obviously it's more efficient to watch a video at 150% if it's informational content. But for me, I acknowledge that I'm getting this content for free. So for me, there's an ethical thing where it's like, okay, these creators are doing this. It's a shitload of work. So I'm going to give them the watch time because...
Yeah, I don't blame anyone.
I don't blame anyone either. I don't judge. I'm just saying for me, that's the issue.
Yeah.
For myself personally.
And to me, I mean, if you want to watch me twice the speed, but then you're not getting anything out of a mic review. Unless if you want to watch...
If you want to watch Aiden at twice the speed, that's fine. Just make sure you watch it again.
Well, no, but even then, like, that's why I want to try this out. I'm going to release a video at 175%. I'm going to see what happens with the retention. I'm quite curious. But I'm also going to find out when I post that video how many people are pissed off that I post that video, because there are people out there like, you're just trying to game the algorithm,
game the
dude.
Rig. Yeah,
you're just trying to. No, I'm actually curious. I'm curious to see what happens with this. Will I release all my videos? One, I need to know whether or not it affects content quality. So it doesn't in Premiere Pro. Like if I speed it up to 150%, you're getting every single frame.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when you put it on YouTube? Like I don't know what YouTube does with FPS.
There's, like any platform, there are compression algorithms we'll never understand fully because they don't publish a lot of that crap. But so there's a conversation that I missed about Sony over Canon.
Yeah, I said I'm moving over to a Sony camera.
For video stuff, Sony, 100%. I think.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of reasons. I just saw Miss Ravioli asked about it. But
by the way, hi, Miss Ravioli.
Hello. So I think one of the things is autofocus. Just as one example of where Sony tends to be superior. The Canon and Nikon, now I'm not saying for all Canon or Nikon cameras. Obviously, if you get like a D4 or something comparable in the that like $5,000 range, is probably not going to have this. Might not have this problem. But the Hunt and Peck.
Oh yeah.
The contrast detection autofocus system.
Well, mine's not contrast. Mine's dual auto pixel focus.
So Sony's cameras, the A series, use LiDAR. Yeah. And actually, I didn't realize just how superior my new iPhone 12 Pro, or or not new anymore, I guess technically. It has LiDAR sensors that it uses for auto, and my God, is it ever fast and perfectly on the nose. Like it doesn't fuck around.
It's also not fucking loud.
Yeah,
Canon is loud.
Well, it depends on the lens too.
Yeah.
I mean, so my kit lens, for example, my Nikon is shite. I mean, the autofocus works well, but if I'm using the on-camera mic, whereas my 50 1.4, it's like supersonic quiet. Like it's like it's like a Lamborghini of autofocus servos. But at the same time, I know when I'm shooting video, and I don't know if you've noticed, if you have this, but this irks me. When I'm watching a YouTube video of a human that is stationary, and I can see the little whoop, 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 whoop happening, whoop, whoop, I set the focus and I set it to manual focus when I'm shooting a video.
I need to start doing that but the problem is if I hold something up for the lens, like I'm on manual focus right now, and if I hold my hand out front, and I want you to look at something that's in my hand for a video, which I sometimes do. It'll hunt, grab it, and then you pull it back, hunt. But the problem is because my eyes always look relatively closed, even when I'm looking directly into the camera. I've always been like that. My eyes aren't wide eyes.
Yeah.
So the camera doesn't recognize the eyes and focus on them immediately. Really annoying.
So one thing that I would suggest, and this is what I have done to try and help that, is I don't know what the term would be for, I don't think this is industry standard, so this might be Nikon terminology, so whatever the equivalent is on Canons, but set it to AFS, so single autofocus. So in other words, you hold the button down a little bit, and then it doesn't. AFC, I fucking hate AFC, especially for video shooting, and get an intervalometer. Spend like $25, get a remote intervalometer that you can have, and then those work where you plug it into the shutter release port, and partial press of the button triggers autofocus remotely.
Yep, I have that. I already have one of those. I have
very handy.
A cell phone program.
I got a Bluetooth one, and it kind of does that.
Works exceptionally well. But for this, I have to turn autofocus off, and I don't actually turn it off on the camera. I turn it off on the app, so you can turn off the motor on the app.
I'm assuming it's a Canon app.
My Canon M50 does focus slower and more silent in video mode, but guess for video, Sony is indeed a better choice. It is now with the A series. The A7C is the one I'm looking at. The problem is it's going to be about a $6,000 investment for lenses and for the body, because I've got a $1,000 lens on this, which is nice and crisp, but it's a Canon mount. So
I was gonna say, like, I'll buy your old Canon off you if you're getting rid of it, and then that'll help. $6,000.
No, I need a top-down camera though. That's the problem. Like,
I thought you were gonna get like a Hero 8 or something.
I got it. I don't like, for doing top-down. I don't like. There's just enough fisheye to make it not usable. Just enough distortion on the edges.
On the center of the edges.
So I need something that's clear and crisp top-down. This one will be. I'm slowly building out the studio. I got the light. Next up will be the camera. I'm hoping probably this microphone in between. Okay, just really quick. 480p and below YouTube caps speed video to 30 frames per second playback. Ouch. Well, if you're watching at 480, that's gonna suck.
I have to go.
All right, later, guys. Thanks for coming. We'll see you.